This video is going to cover, what really happens when you have a variable, right? A variable, that's a letter that stands for some number that we're not sure about what it's going to be, right? In your exponent number, specifically in the base of your exponent number. So let's just remind ourselves what we mean about exponent numbers and bases and all that. So let's take this example, 4 to the 5th, right? And let's just say, okay, well, 4 to the 5th, that's equal to 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? Because 5 is our exponent. So we've got our base, and we've got our power. Our power tells me how many times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, that's good. Our base tells me what the number is, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Awesome, awesome. So what if we had something that looked like this, right? Right here we have x to the 5th, right? X to the 5th power. And 5 is our power, obviously. And x is our base. So this could be a bit of a head scratcher. What am I supposed to do here? And I think that if you really understand what a variable is, then it'll help you to understand what you're supposed to do. So let's take a look at this x. Let's take a look at this x right where my finger is, okay? That's an x. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we know it's a number, but we're just not quite sure what the number is yet, right? So imagine that you're waiting for your friends to show up at your party, right? You're throwing a big party and you're waiting, maybe not a big party, medium-sized party, and you're waiting for your friends to show up. Well, you might want to, figure out something about how many, pieces of popcorn that you're going to need to bring out onto the table, and you might depend on how many people show up, right? How much food are you going to bring depends on how many people show up. So you might want to say, well, x is going to be the number of people who show up, and I'm not quite sure yet who's going to show up, how many people are going to show up, but I know it's going to be some number of people. It could be 0, it could be 20, it could be whatever, anywhere in between. So x is a number that we don't know yet, but we can still do things with it because we know it's a number. One of the things we can do is say, well, this is any number, right? And it's raised to a power. Well, the power means we're going to multiply it 5 times by itself. So x to the 5th is just that number, and I'm going to use a different multiplication sign. This is just a multiplication sign. X times x times x times x, 1, 2, 3, 4, times x, 5 times, right? We're doing it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, that's not too hard to understand, right? We've got some number times itself 5 times, and that's exactly what x means. It means it's some number times itself 5 times. So let's just play around with that. Let's say that 10 people showed up to your party. Well, you could say that x is equal to 10. X is equal to 10. So what do? Well, we say, well, x is equal to 10. That means it's not x times x times x times x times x. It's 10 times, we can still use this dot, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. And then that's going to be equal to whatever that is. Well, what if somebody comes late, right? And we want to add a person. Well, we can just say, listen, what we need to do is we need to change this x. X is now equal to 11. So what this is equal to is not 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. It is 11 times 11 times 11 times 11 times 11. And that's just what x is. It's a number that we're not quite sure what the number is yet. We know it's a number. We know it's a number, but we're not quite sure what it is. Let's take, we're going to erase this and leave up our x to the 5th is equal to x times x times x times x times x 5 times. I'm going to write, okay, well, 7 to the 3rd, we know that's equal to 7 times 7 times 7, right? And we can even look at 7 times 7 times 7. We say that 7 is our base, and 1, 2, 3, that's going to be our power. So what if we were looking at the other way around, x times x times x? Well, we know that x is going to be our base, and we're doing it 1, 2, 3 times, so we got to put our power up here. That's just going to be 3 right there. Right? We also might want to say, okay, well, x times x times x, let's say that x is now equal to 5. So this time 5 people showed up to my party. Well, that's just going to be equal to 5 times 5 times 5, or 5, right? X is equal to 5, so it's going to be 5 to the third, right? We now know what x is equal to. Oh wait, we forgot. We forgot what x is equal to. We got to go back to just representing it with x, because now it could be anything. Now we're not sure what it is. So this video is providing you with an introduction to what x is and also using it in the context of an exponent number. You might have it in the base. You might see an x in the base.